Hi everyone, Mike here for MyKeyReviews. In this video I'm going to be showing you the WIMAXIT portable monitor, which at the time of doing this video retails in at around £330. There are some other similar models available from other manufacturers on the market, and they all seem to be pretty much competitively priced, some offering extra features than others, such as 4K, but normally the 4K ones, they come with a premium price tag. So you really want to kind of tick just what you want and see which one's the best for you. But anyway, this video is about this one in particular. So the main specs is, first of all, it is really lightweight. Weighing in at only around 1.2 kilograms, it has a very light profile. So if you've got a bag that it fits in, it's not going to be weighing you down at all. As for the display, the size is 15.6 inches and it has a resolution of 1920 by 1080p. You know, some may want more, but for a lot of people, 1080p is absolutely fine. Especially, you know, it is a smaller resolution than a huge TV, so just one of those things. It's really down to preference. Also with the screen, it is 250 candela per square meter with a contrast ratio of 800:1, and of course it is touch control. So that's by USB-C, and there are some other setups like when you're connecting to your desktop to have that feature. I believe it has to be primary monitor. As for uses, there are many uses available for this. So once again, you know, for the desktop, you may want an additional monitor. You could hook it up to your laptop, once again for additional monitor, or you may want to, you know, expand the size if you've got a smaller screen. Also, when it comes to expanding sizes, you can connect it to your phone, your tablet, or even your camera. Now, for example, my camera has a 3-inch screen, which can be a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes. So being able to expand that screen will be very handy. And you can also connect it to gaming consoles, so such as the PS4, Xbox, Switch, whatever. You know, anything with HDMI, it will be fine to connect with. And of course, the other connection is the USB-C, as I've previously mentioned. So anyway, that's pretty much it for the specs, so let's get to the unboxing. Okay, so first thing to come out of the box, we have a little user manual, and that's just a little leaflet. Put that to the side. And we have the main monitor with the leather case that's already attached, which is pretty cool. We will look at that last because that is the main one. Just gonna open up underneath here. So nicely labeled, we have a HDMI to mini HDMI. We have a Type C to Type C. That's 1 meter. This also seems to be, yeah, that's 1 meter as well. So they are fairly short cables. So depending on your needs, you may want to buy some extra long ones. And then we have USB 3.0 to Type C. Once again, 1 meter. And then we have the little wall adapter. Okay, so here we are. We have the portable monitor, and I've got to say that after spending about a week playing around with it, overall it is actually a pretty decent monitor. However, it isn't without its flaws, and I do need to point them out so you can weigh up whether they're a deal breaker or not. As you may have noticed in the unboxing, the cables are fairly small. Now this may seem like it could be a big issue for me. For my setup, the only issue is the power cord. So I'm actually going to be, for using an example, I'm going to be using my power bank so I can actually get the power source a lot closer. But you know, for a lot of people, that's not really a deal breaker because you can get these or a longer version of these cables for a relatively cheap price. So all you need to do, if that's going to be an issue, is to buy some longer cables. The next thing would be the case, which doubles as a stand. May or may not be an issue for some people, but the way it works is you flip it over like this, and it actually has a little magnet right here. Unfortunately, it's not very strong. You can kind of see a little bit of resistance, but it's not very strong. So yeah, after you flip this around, you actually then bend this bit back a bit. And when you first do it, you kind of want to ease it in. You don't want to be too forceful, because if this snaps, then you've got a completely useless stand. It will still be fine as a case, but for a stand, it won't at all, because you do need that little bit of resistance. So there we are, just put it like that. And on a nice even surface, it's going to be absolutely fine. Obviously this is the viewing angle. There's no adjustability for that whatsoever. This could have been easily solved if they did an extra attachment as a stand. That would have been greatly welcomed, but unfortunately that's not the case. And yeah, so you're pretty much stuck with it just like this. For me, it's fine. For some others, it may be an issue. The other thing as well, it's not the most stable if you're going to be, touching it. There's no grip on the bottom side there, so as you're using the touch feature, it may slide around a little bit depending on your desk surface. For me, it hasn't fallen over yet when doing this, but if you want to make sure that it doesn't fall over, it's probably best to clasp it with one hand and then use the other to use the touch screen, if you're using the touch screen feature, of course. Alright, so with the case all explained, could show you some of the buttons and inputs. So on the left hand side, we have a micro USB. This is for connecting some peripherals like a keyboard or a mouse, but the only issue is, like I said, it's a micro USB. A lot of these devices don't connect by micro USB, they connect by normal USB. So you may want to get an adapter if you want to use it, but depending on what you're using it for example, I've got it hooked up, or I will be having it hooked up to my PC. Everything that I need connected is already connected directly to the PC, so I don't need anything else connected to it. Then to the left of that we have the power button, which for me doesn't work, so I've probably got a faulty button. It's a bit of a shame and not a great start to show off the quality, but for me that's not a deal breaker, because simply I connect the power in and it will just turn on, and when I'm not using it I just take out all the cables. Then we have the volume buttons down and up, followed by the menu, and then the input button. So that's basically what is known on TVs, such as the source button. On the other side, we have a headphone port, so you can connect external speakers, or obviously connect it by a wired headset. Then we have the USB-C power port, followed by the Type-C. This is for connecting it to smart devices that have the USB-C 3.1 Generation 2. I can't stress that enough, it needs to be Generation 2, because otherwise it will not work. Unfortunately, all my smart devices are Generation 1, so I can't show an example with it connected by that. But the other time when you'll be using that is when you're using the touch feature with the PC. And then just to the right of that, we've got two HDMI inputs, 1 and 2. So I'm now going to connect it to my PC, so I'm just going to flip this around. So connecting it to the PC, you do need 3 cables. 1 into the power, 2 would be, once again, if you're using the touch feature, you would want the Type-C into USB, and then of course the HDMI cable. If you're just putting it to a normal HDMI device, or for example, let's just say I'm connected to my camera and I want to blow up the rear of the camera onto this monitor, then I would just need the HDMI and a power source. So that could be by a power bank, or it can be directly by the DC input, etc. So first of all, I am going to connect it by HDMI, so that's going to go into HDMI 1. Next, for the touch features, I'm going to put the USB-C in. Now you may notice that this will flicker, and that's basically because it's drawing some power from this USB cable, but it's not enough to fully keep it up. So I'm going to have to add a power source, such as this USB-C. There we are, and just turn that on, just reconnect this. There we are. Okay, so the touchscreen actually works very well. You can see here there is barely any lag. I can zoom in and back out. I can do it with one hand, I can do it with 2. No issues whatsoever. It's very responsive, which I really like. The other thing is the picture quality. I'm really impressed with the picture quality. Obviously, this is only 1080p, but you know, it's still pretty decent. Now, you may notice that there's it looks like there's some banding on what you're seeing, but that's just what the camera's picking up. I can safely say you're not getting these weird lines across the TV when viewing it in person. Yeah, none whatsoever. So do bear that in mind also. When it comes to sound, unfortunately the sound is not great. I'll just switch it over to, there we are. So it's quite tinny, not really much range to it, and this is actually on 100%, and it's not very loud whatsoever. I'll flick over to song. Oh no, I need to pause that. Yeah, put it to a song. Yeah, there's just not much to it, so you definitely want to connect it to, you know, some headphones or some external speakers if audio is going to be the main thing for you. Okay, so hopefully that little example of the monitor has helped. So if we just do a quick breakdown of the negatives and the positives, and I'll start off with the negatives. It's probably better to leave off with the positives last. So with the negatives, obviously you have three main ones, and only one of them is a deal breaker. So the first two, which I think aren't deal breakers, are one, the short cables, because you can easily buy some longer ones for a relatively low cost, and the other one would be the really poor audio quality or inbuilt audio quality. Just get some headphones or an external speaker if audio is a major issue. So they're nice solutions for those issues, but when it comes to the case and stand, you know, it's not very versatile, and for some people it's just not going to be suitable for their needs. I think that one will be a major deal breaker for some people. But if the stand isn't a deal breaker, well, you've got a portable monitor which is very lightweight. You can easily put this in a rucksack and, you know, not really have it weighing you down. The touchscreen is pretty well responsive, and also the picture quality is very good for what it is. I honestly have no issues with that regard. So yeah, weigh it up and see whether it's right for you and whether it's worth the cost as well. So anyway guys, thank you very much for watching the video, and hopefully it has helped.